This is episode 249. Oh, wait, I forgot what it is already. It's not in
God. Justin, we're going to need you to get it together, man. This is like the 200th take, man.
I got to get one in the open.
You've done this 249 times. Okay.
It's 2 a.m.
It's the tuning. Okay, I remember it now. This is episode 249. I've been tuning my guitar for over 10 years.
Coming to you from something that got way out of hand very slowly. It's the tone control. Ding, my bell's downstairs still. Ding.
Oh, ding. Yeah. Stare off. Well, Derek, it's happened.
We did it.
We've gived it away.
It hath been given.
It's
giveth.
Actually, technically, I still have it.
Giveth.
It was giveth away, and so get this.
Mm-hmm.
So we do the giveaway. We do the giveaway drawing. And the feller who does win it lives in Cincinnati.
What are the fucking odds?
I mean, I know exactly what the odds are.
I know exactly what the odds are because of how many people entered. Yeah, like really, what are the odds? I mentioned to Eric the other day, I always find it really interesting when a listener is local to me or one of us. I'm like, oh, wow. How did that happen? Was the being local something that got it in front of them somehow?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. This shit just happens sometimes. Yeah. It's not really that weird, but it's also kind of like, what? It's one
of those like humans misunderstand statistics kind of naturally thing. It's like,
what is it? You need like 9 people in a room before you have a repeated birthday or something.
Or before you're very likely to, or something like that. Yeah.
It's more than, right.
It's a lot less than you think. That's way less likely than it is, kind of thing. It's something about the way they all compound when you have like people who have won the lottery more than once is like not nearly as uncommon as you think. Partly because people who play the lottery.
Because you have to play the lottery.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people who don't engage at all. But anyway, it's just.
Anyway, our main man, Tony from Cincinnati, won the giveaway.
Sure did.
Congratulations, man. I am so thrilled about how it all went. I think we had a really great response to the newsletter. There was a lot of people that signed up. As I mentioned, we're not really emailing that much, but in the follow-up to the giveaway, if you deleted that without looking too closely, you may want to go back because there's a very cool hookup from Hank over at Rattlesnakes. And thanks to everybody who entered. I was packing everything up.
Bonuses is some discount codes, right? Or something to that effect. There's some little gifts in there from the
so if you entered the giveaway if you entered the giveaway or signed up for the newsletter, I should say, before the giveaway was drawn, you also were sent thanks for entering, here's 20% off your purchase at Rattlesnake, and that's only valid through October 6th at midnight. So get on that. Hank is making the best cables in the biz, so we'll throw you a little discount.
Yeah, that'll be great.
As a thank you for signing up and for supporting us for 10 years. And hey, Justin, cheers.
Yes. Cheers, mate. Look at our non-marketing cans.
Mine is a Yeti.
Mine is an Epic. Although I think it's the same thing.
What are you drinking?
Mandarin orange bubbly water.
Oh, I'm drinking. You ready for this? Fucking black double IPA Doom sauce.
Doom sauce.
Yeah. So, you like that?
Yeah, I do. So I still have the package here because it arrived on Saturday. It arrived on Saturday from because Derek would send it to me, and I can hand deliver it. We can have a little, not that I'm going to bother the guy all day, but like I don't know, it'd be nice.
Meet up and say hey.
It's cool, and he's willing, so I'm going to go say hi and meet him and everything. And I did take the guitar out of the package. I put it back.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was curious if you were going to leave it all boxed up.
I took it out. I had because I haven't actually gotten to see it yet. And
what do you think?
And I had to verify that it wasn't smashed to pieces. No, obviously, the packing is outstanding. So is that how it came to you? Did you reuse all of that? Yeah. So there's the guitar shaped box,
like the triangle box.
The triangle box has all the little holders and it fits in really snugly and everything. But then the other box has some of the like pull the cord and it expands foam. So precisely arranged.
Yeah, it's Sweetwater does an amazing job with packing and stuff like that. And I kept all of it. And guitar boxes have come a really long way.
Yeah.
Like they're not just a triangle shaped box, but there's like cutouts and inserts for neck support and headstock support. There's a cutout even for the strap button, so it doesn't like get bonked and crack the finish and stuff. All really nicely done. So I felt really good sending it out. It was all nice and tight and good to go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I did take it out. You know what? I've never played a guitar that had a matte finish neck.
Oh, really?
I've always had. I've never I've known about it, but even my acoustic, it's not. It's like shiny. It's not worn off or anything.
What do you think of that?
I think it's fucking great. And I'm like considering taking a bunch of steel wool to all my guitars because
that's a pretty common thing people do.
Because A, I like it, and B, I don't give a shit about the finish of the back of my neck. Now that I've touched that guitar, Brillo pad, huh? Okay.
Brillo pad. like Scotch-Brite or something.
Scotch-Brite, yeah. So I guess that would be like even less grit than a steel wool kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I've had a few guitars with that.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot. It's I pick up a guitar with a finished neck and it is decidedly sticky.
Right. It's like I held
grippy.
It and I was like, oh, well, this is the way it should be. As soon as I didn't even strum a chord on it, I just picked it up and went, obviously. This is how all guitars should be built.
Right. Did you plug it in or anything?
No, I didn't plug it in. I didn't. To be honest, I had like a jam-packed weekend. This semester is hard. Right. This semester is hard. I'm sorry, and I also have this feeling like it's not my guitar.
Oh, I know. I was feeling that too. Like when it was here and I was playing around with it, I'm like, I gotta be really careful with this, not to put any sort of little scuff or smudge on it. I definitely wiped it down before sending it out and all that. So man.
The white is creamier than that is conveyed over like the camera and stuff. So yeah, it's a really cool look. It's a cool feel. So anyway, I'm excited for Tony, and I think I'm not sure. At some point this week, I'm going to get it over to him. We both are kind of busy, and we're having
you're both
trouble
like adults,
synergizing our schedules. Yeah. So we're. But I mean,
when you're 30 minutes away, like it's I think definitely worth organizing.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I kind of want to try to. I don't think he's replied. Anyway, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Whatever.
It's his first idea. I couldn't do, and I'm trying another idea. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you open up the other box, the other goodies?
No, I left that packed. I knew what was in there, and I figured I'm gonna leave it taped. Or although I need to add. You were out of stickers and picks and stuff, so I'm going to toss some stickers and picks in there for him. And so never mind. Forget I said that. I am going to open it. Let's all just pretend I've done it. I opened it up and threw those things in, Derek, in the past. I've already done it. You see.
So yeah, I mean, obviously this all comes with a humongous shout out to our Patreon supporters, because without them, we literally cannot afford to do awesome giveaways like this. And I'm so excited that we were able to give away like a whole rig. Like it's cables, pedals, strings, a guitar. Like I was really excited to get that going. I think in year 9, I had the idea of like, what if we did a big give? What if we gave away a guitar? Right. The thing we always talk about. I know. And I was like, well, maybe we could get this to happen. We save up slowly and surely and stuff like that. Cricket, please don't cancel your Patreon. Because you're like, oh, maybe I should probably cancel that. And you can do whatever you want. It's obviously fine. But yeah, dude, I'm already like thinking, what are some other cool things we could give away in the future, with like, slow but steady, reliable, modest income for the show that we can just, turn back into the community. I really like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. Sorry, I'm reading the chat when I shouldn't be. It's very cool. Man, 10 years. Honestly, I wasn't, just like usual, I wasn't really thinking too much about the podcast as I went through my day.
Same.
Same. It's just what I do. We talked a little bit. You look at the
calendar and like, oh yeah, we were published last week, so that makes today a podcast. Oh shit, yeah.
And I like, what am I thinking about this? Well, we talked like last episode kind of about updates and changes. I don't know if changes is the right word, but just like, okay, so for example, we're broadcasting in public now. I think we're kind of going to do that, right?
Yeah, maybe we can rearrange some channels or something and make it happen.
Yeah, maybe we'll kind of just always be here so that anybody can join in when it's live. Yeah. And
Cricket is in the chat for the first time in a long time. Yeah. And he's on fire. He's chatting for 5 other people. It's insane, and I love it.
He's taking care of it. I have no idea what I was leading up to there.
We're talking about we're recording in general tonight. So
we're recording in general,
as in not the private channel for patrons. So we're, like we mentioned last time, like I'm still open to feedback on that. So folks, if you're a patron or not, and you're curious about what we mean by moving the show into general, we're just talking about unrestricting that recording night thing, and let us know if that's something you're into or decidedly not into. That is also a fair and valid response that I will respect. Yeah. So, I
taking
think
it all in
10 years. This falls into one of the into the next range of kind of on the short list of things I have done the longest. What are some things that you have done basically uninterrupted for a really long time? And for me, it's like driving a car.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, driving a car is the first one.
That's kind of the first one. For me, before that was playing guitar. So I think that totally counts in this conversation. But I guess have been with my wife, we've been together, dating and otherwise.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Also 10 years on that one for me. Well, yeah, right. I guess 11 if you're anyway, 10-year wedding anniversary was this year. So,
right. Yeah.
That's what we did. We got married. I got married to a human. I got married to a podcast. Fine.
Yeah. I did not talk to you about this very thoroughly, but I was thinking about top tone control moments, I guess. Not specific moments. Yes, we've both have had kids in that time too. That's a kind of a big deal.
But my kid is not 10.
I bought a house. I moved twice.
Yep.
Right?
Me too.
I had an apartment, had a different apartment, bought this house. Got a different job for me was huge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, geez. What else is there? Just everything.
A career shifting level job too, not not like I was at this restaurant and I went to this other restaurant.
Or I got a job in the same company, which has also happened. But yeah, lots of shit. It's kind of crazy to think about. 2013. You want to look up 2013 on Wikipedia and see what was going on then? Actually, you know what I'll do? I will pull up our show notes from way back then.
Oh, okay.
And see what was going on.
Our very first episode. Did we released our first episode, right?
We
Against
did.
All Advice. Yeah.
Yes. We did. Here we go.
I can't imagine like how different my voice must have sounded.
I think it was the confidence of being on mic as well, and like kind of knowing the flow of the show and what to expect. All right, so I have 115 pages of show notes for episodes 1 through 80. Whoops.
We just have a rolling Google Docs.
Did we just totally overshoot our anniversary? Because I have 8/27/2013 written down as our date. Maybe that's the date I started the note. Let's go with that.
I wonder.
I think we
if
published.
It just took, I think it takes a little while before it hits Apple, right? So you post something and then there's like a delay period whenever you start a new show.
For new podcasts, yeah.
So it may be that we counted our episode publish date was not when we actually started like recording it.
So that first episode, which you can go back and find somewhere, we talked about the new Foo Fighters album that was coming out at the time.
So that would have been...
It was 2013.
That would have been the one with all the colors, right? What was that called?
Wasting Light.
Wasting Light, yeah.
Was that 2013?
Was this before that HBO thing, right? Or was it the HBO thing? No,
that came out in 2011.
Oh, so it was the HBO, like, recording one song per week at different studios.
Yeah, it was Sonic Highways. Wow. Jeez.
Sonic Highways.
We talked about the TC Electronic Polytune 2.
Is that the one I have? No, I just have a Polytune 1.
I still have the original Polytune 1.
Wait, that means that this tuning pedal is something I've also done for more than 10 years.
Yes, true. You've been tuning your guitar with the Polytune 1.
I've been tuning my guitar for over 10 years. Oh, sometimes you just know it's going to be the one coming out.
That's in the list. Of course it is. Yeah. What else we got? We've got the Sir Riot and Sheba Drive Reloaded. MI announcing DIY overdrive kits. Fender using 3D printing to prototype new models. 2013, 3D printing was like the fucking future.
It was like, you don't understand. It's just 3D printing. You plug in the thing, you push go, and you come back 3 weeks later and you've got a prototype.
Yeah. Rapid prototyping.
Rapid prototyping.
What else? Oh my goodness. We talked about episode 2, fixing bullcrap since 1983.
Well, that's when I was born, so.
Episode 2 was when we actually talked about who we were.
Classic reversal of importance.
September episode 3 was the TC Hall of Fame Mini.
Boy, TC was the
right
shit
here
back then. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, TC was like finally here as like a affordable pedal alternative to Boss, and that was like, I don't know. I just remember it being like, oh, it's true bypass. This is the age of like, it's true bypass is better, you know?
Right, true bypass. It's like taking all the cheapness or inexpensiveness, I should say, of a Boss, and then adding true bypass, and then and all their stuff was sort of digital, so that many of them, they could do that tone print thing that was like this humongous thing. You could remember you'd hold your phone up to the pickup in the guitar.
Yeah. I mean
nowadays USB or wireless
you do a USB,
or whatever.
Yeah.
You can just have an app that does it. But now that back then the app would play like a modem like tone out of your phone speaker into your guitar
pickup. Yeah. And it worked. Like, it worked great.
It would do it.
The thing.
It would do the thing. It seems wicked. I'm going to be honest. I feel like it seems wicked stupid now.
Now it does. But at the time, I remember being like, look at this. This is...
What the fuck? I remember doing it
I think,
at
me too.
band practice.
At practice, yeah. Actually, the tone print that's in this Hall of Fame came from there. I've left it on ever since. It's not default what's on my Mini.
There's a tone print that's been in that Hall of Fame for over 10 years.
Yeah. I also see really interesting stuff. Not interesting, I guess, but it's interesting to me to see stuff like
when we ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, it wasn't interesting in 2013. It's not interesting now. But like Victory Amps launches.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
An amp brand, these big brands that we see now everywhere these days. We were like, check it out, guys. There's a new amp on the market. Well, let's see. I don't know.
What's going to happen? How's Victory Amps doing after 10 years?
Strymon dropping the Big Sky. Just like these things that are kind of standards now.
The Sky got big in 2013.
Mm-hmm. Got huge. Positive Grid Bias, iPad app, right? Like all this. I'm not going to go. I won't go through everything, but it's just. I think it's really fun to look back at.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to punctuate things so that we can chapterize this at some point.
Okay. Yeah.
Here, I'm going to play a sound, and then we're going to decide what that sound
Justin,
leads to.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
I just need to tell you about one more thing from episode 14, which is titled "Sick, Bro." We talked about the Gibson memory cable, which features a micro SD recorder in the cable.
I remember that piece of shit.
Oh my God.
Yes,
we
Cricket,
talked
you've
about
nailed it.
we talked about the launch. Ready? The launch of Reverb.com.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and now we're just like, I go to Reverb. Like it's just such a stupid common thing. Has Gibson always sucked? Well, here's the
memory cable. I mean, the fucking thing record what? That's all.
I bet we said you got to put it. Where do you put it? Right, because it's not going to have your amp tone.
Which means if you, okay, so
you put it after your pedal board, just use it to reamp. Could you imagine plugging in just a cable to an amp and hitting play? There's no instrument
first
connected.
you plug just a cable into your guitar and you hit record and you play. And then you take that cable and you walk across the room and you plug it in. And you plug it into your amp and you push play. Oh my God. Now I kind of want one.
Oh my God.
Look at this fucking Reverb? Magic trick. Oh my God.
Oh, holy shit.
Okay.
I'm having like a total trip down memory lane here. Yeah. Anyway, you were going to punctuate with a sound.
Okay, I'm going to punctuate it with a sound. Dude.
So in the chat, were you going to say something at this punctuation point?
No, because I have no idea what it's leading up to, right? Because we don't have a plan. We're planless.
Yeah. Well, let me run this by you.
Yeah.
Right after our last episode, I saw a thing that I was like, I'm going to put this in the show notes. This is a great topic. So there is something there that we can talk about. However, we don't have to. We can say it's timeless. We can save it until next time if you'd like.
Timeless.
Alternatively, Matt in the chat has mentioned, talk about what you guys think gear will be like in 10 years and then set a reminder to check your predictions.
Wait, are there multiple chats that I have to watch now?
No, there was some chat in general, and now Cricket's going off in the private chat because of the Patreon thing. Right. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay,
what do you think
in charge of
gear?
Chat.
What do you think of gear in 10 years? Do you want to do that? Like, is that, I'm not going to set a reminder to check myself, but if we're looking at things like the launch of the Big Sky and the launch of Victory amps and stuff like that from 10 years ago, I can pull up a few other things to get you thinking, I guess. Well, so Boss Wazacraft started, Fishman Fluence started then.
Since that 10-year demarcation point, I feel like the big thing that's that's come around is the continued digitization of things. It's not like there wasn't anything digital before, but I feel like we're past people questioning it now, right? Like that's what happened. And anything out there that's like, it's a model of a whatever amp, or it's a modeling system, you don't go, yeah, but is it any good? Now it's just like, oh, okay, here's another one with new features or something.
In episode 25, we had a tone shootout with Michael from Denmark. Michael, if you're still listening, hi.
I
do you remember
this? Yeah.
Yeah, he sent in like the pretense of it was here's
Kemper,
three
right?
tones. Yeah, here's three tones. Guess which one's the Kemper? Because we had just been talking about Kemper or something like that.
Yeah.
And turns out all three of them were Kemper. Like you pulled a little switcheroo on us
He
there.
did a little fake.
Yeah.
Which is cheating and not fair, and he should be ashamed of himself.
But also we were like, what? Yeah. I don't know. I think
because then it was like Kemper was kind of the one. I mean, Fractal existed.
Mm-hmm.
Helix but it was basically those two. Line 6 was, they'd been doing it for 10 years prior to that, but it wasn't considered to be really good. Yeah, it was the Pod and the Pod 2 and stuff.
Right. So, Helix didn't come out till 2015. Like we're almost 10 years into Helix.
Yeah.
Which is nuts to think about.
Yeah, yeah.
But with no hardware changes, but whatever.
Well, because
I think
FPGAs, man.
Because it's also, why change it?
It's software. Yeah.
And I think 10 years, I think tube amps will continue to move into a place of luxury for most people. Mm-hmm. As like the flip side of what you're saying, the modeling stuff is here to stay and will only get better and more indistinguishable. So like, tube amps are going to be for fun.
Yeah, and I mean they still get manufactured.
Yeah.
They're more and more going to have the stuff like your little
the two notes out on the Rev, yeah.
Right. The Rev, that's what it is. Sorry, there's something on the camera. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like essential. If I'm amp buying now, like that is kind of a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
It's becoming that way. And
I think if you're making 5 more years from now, it has to have that, right?
Yeah. Right. I mean, just put it right in so I don't have to go buy another box. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I sound a little funny. I think I'm getting a little bit sick. It's that time of year.
Now, right in this moment.
No, just like I'm noticing that like my voice hasn't cleared up in the way I thought it would.
Right. Yeah.
Do I think smaller builders will try to make reasonably priced tube amps? Like there's always someone trying to make affordable, high quality gear. That's a good question. Smaller builders, that's tough because of economies of scale.
Is the software angle something that a small builder can get involved with?
They do for pedals.
Right, but for an amp, you know what I mean? Like does a small builder have the facilities? Are they going to have like the facilities and stuff to create? I don't really know. Does it require a larger investment to have like software engineers and all this stuff?
Yeah, it's not like a passion project for someone.
Right, compared to somebody puttering in their garage and then happens to make a really great amp circuit.
Wouldn't be surprised. Cricket in the chat is saying he wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of DSP for pickups, but 10 years ago, the Fishman Fluence came out and tipped all that on its head, right? So that's not really DSP, but that is a stepping stone for whatever's next with pickups. And the Fluence system is still very highly regarded today. I see them everywhere.
Yeah. So, and you could you could add DSP to that.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't really call it DSP now.
Repeatable, right? Like that's one of its main features is the extreme consistency. So that would be the perfect thing to build DSP into.
Would you call it DSP now, I guess? I mean,
well, I don't know. I thought it was, I didn't think it was processing anything. I thought it was.
No, I guess it's not. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just that they can
there's
put
no
the
chips or anything.
windings. Yeah, they can make the windings so exactly right that they can sort of create these different tones within the same housing in a way that you can't otherwise.
As far as reasonably priced tube amps, I don't know. I think it depends on one's definition of reasonably priced, for sure. Because I think, I don't know, even Fender, a humongous company, like their DSP amps that they have now, like the Tone Master series or whatever they're called, like those are not cheap. They're not entry amps by any stretch. So I don't know. I think that we're going to see something that we can't really predict, right? It's like in 2013, like I don't think we could have predicted the flood of Neural DSP and Helix and Fractal being a very realistic solution for very real bands, right? Like when the thing about like Metallica switched to such and such, that's big news, right? These are things. So there's going to be
legacy
stuff
bands.
like stuff like that we can't even see coming, you know?
Yeah.
So Abe is in the chat. What's up, man? I haven't seen you in forever. I hope you're doing well.
It's an Abe. So, hang
on.
These things don't ever go away, though, right? So, like when you're saying, like, dude, you know, it's just turn the dial of how many they're producing every year, right? And there's always like some little tube combo, like somebody wants that still.
Of course, I think
because
people
of the cool factor, but it may be transitioning into sort of a golden age eventually with the way vinyl does, right? You know, you may get to a point where it's like, you know, like you're going to have people who grew up on simulated amps and then they're like, you know what? I just like the tangible thing. I think I'm going to get into this ancient technology of having an amp.
When it moves air in the room. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man.
Well, it's still moving air. You get you get a speaker, you know what I mean? Like just because they didn't have amps doesn't mean they don't have loud guitars. But same goes for MP3s and iPods, right? So so now it's like I'm gonna get my hands on some tangible physical music stuff. I'm gonna get myself.
I think it's gonna be
one
more
of those amps. They'll say.
Do you think it's possibly more prone to component availability? Like, what if vacuum tubes are suddenly more scarce? Remember when?
Yeah,
when all the shit started with Russia and Ukraine, and everybody was like the tubes, and like it never really became an issue. And
right, it was like,
that's all still going on and terrible.
Place that they're manufactured, and
it was like, now you need to retube your amp right now. Today is when you've decided it's important. But yes, and all that's still going on and shitty. But I'm just saying, like there's going to be something else that I think. Like when Helix came along with all of that I/O and like a more affordable entry point than Fractal, and has iterated on it so quickly after so many years, and it's that thing of like the tools need to exist for you to think about creative ways to use them, and we just don't know what the next tools are. And so once those things happen, like putting a TRS jack in your guitar and sending each of your pickups to different rigs. You can do that now.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that now, you
can do that really easily. Yeah, really easily. Why would you? I don't know, but like you could. So I don't know, man. I as far as what to look, I think I have a lot to look forward to. I'll say that. I can't predict anything about gear other than it's something we can't think of is coming.
Right. Yeah, it's tough, you know. Like thinking about just for myself, like what is gonna be my personal relationship with gear in 10 years? I don't imagine it changing a whole lot. Like it's tough to imagine that I'm not going to just have. I'm going to continue to have more use for software amps than I do hardware amps, as far as how often I use them and stuff like that. Justin becomes a blues lawyer. What is that?
You don't know what a blues lawyer is? Oh my
No,
dude.
what's blues
Oh,
lawyer?
it's like your armchair expert weekend warrior guys on the Gear Page forums talking about like authentic tones and shit like that by taking advice from guys
Gotcha.
like Joe Bonamassa, right? Who are modeling their bar gig tone on like a screaming 100-watt Marshall. That
Right.
is, so were you in that conversation in Discord earlier, like last week or so?
I guess not.
So we were talking about some article got circulated in the server about Joe Bonamassa going on about complaining about the volume restrictions on stages these days and how
I saw
tube
that,
amps,
but I didn't read it. Yeah. Okay. So tell me. Yeah.
So I think he does it on purpose too, Cricket. I think he so he's going on saying that like stage volume is an important factor to playing live and stuff. And I don't think he's totally offline or out of line there, but I think for him to say that something like a Fender Princeton is suddenly offensive is absurd because nobody, especially in the arena type venues that Joe is playing, is going, "Hey man, why don't you turn that Princeton down?"
Like
Bullshit.
0% chance he's ever actually heard this. He just thought, you know what I'm going to yell about?
Yeah. And I think it's because he sees people, the vast majority of guitar players not being huge touring acts, right? Are using things like modelers and stuff or finding a way to go to direct front of house.
So you think he invented the sentiment that it's because the stage was too loud that they're doing that?
No, I think stages are sometimes too loud, but like, I don't know where he's basing that off of. I kind of skimmed the article, but I think the point is my issue with that approach is that he's extremely ignorant to his privilege in the gear space,
fucking place in the world,
his fucking place in the world, and has these walls of amps on stages that tour around these huge rooms to play in, right? Yeah. I'm playing for 45 minutes downtown. It's like a very, very different. Like Joe Bonamassa would pass away if he walked into my gig. That's the thing. he would not survive, and not in any sort of like. It would just be too much for him. It would just. Anyway, my point is,
he would walk in. You guys have in-ears, and you've got your. Nobody has any amps because it's inconvenient and pointless.
It's super inconvenient,
and you're modeling like 7 different tones, and
and he would well, you know what I mean? So I'm getting on a friggin' soapbox here, but he's also been on stuff about how when people come to see his show, they're more excited to see his gear than him because it's like,
wait, is he mad or happy about that?
I think he's more like perplexed and just like, he approaches it with the attitude of, guys, it's just a guitar amp. Guys, it's just a guitar. But he's playing a 59.
No, he fucking doesn't. He just said in the other thing.
Exactly.
How fucking important his asshole.
So he's coming in with like, it's just a guitar amp, but he's referencing a fucking Dumble, right? One of the rarest and like most expensive amps in the world. It's like, guys, it's just an amp. Well, to me, Joe, if you're saying it's just an amp, go play a fucking Blues Junior on your gig. Yeah. If it's not about the amp for you, then it's not. You can't say it's not and then hook up.
Just walk into a music shop and pick something out. Go ahead, spend a little bit of money. Spend $1,000, right?
Yeah.
And then play that. And I don't believe that he wouldn't fucking bitch about it.
Of course. Anyway, that's my thing. I don't know how I got on this, but we're talking about just like, that's what I mean by tube amps will become a luxury because as you do your local music circuits and stuff, which is what, again, the huge majority of guitar players are doing, is you realize very quickly that lugging an AC30 up and down the stairs sucks.
Yeah. Most people who are making a living in music, they're piecing it together from various things. Pretty much every professional musician that I've ever met, plays, but also teaches and so on and so on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And those are the people where it's like, what's it? That's what you want to know about. Not one of somebody who has somebody haul their crap around for them.
Right. So I don't know. There's a lot of layers to that conversation as far as like, well, he's not the one hauling it in and out. I'm like, yeah, but it's the fact that it needs to be hauled. It doesn't really matter who's doing it.
Well, it matters to the effect that like that is divorced from his opinion.
Right.
Because he might have a different opinion if he had to make the decision about, do I lift this, or is this software solution that is literally good enough, right? And and here's the next layer down or up, whichever way we're going. If he didn't fucking say anything, nobody can, like, he can pick whatever amp he wants. It's the fact that he has to say something about it, like his opinion matters to somebody other than him, that then it's open for business.
But his opinion does matter to people other than him because he's so influential in that blues lawyer space. That's how we got here. The blues lawyer space.
The blues lawyer thing. So that happens on forums that I just couldn't. My head would explode if I go near. I just can't with stuff like that. Yeah.
So
no wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's the thing about like talking about, and I see both sides of it sometimes when you're talking about the plexi tone or the Dumble tone. Mm-hmm. And, you know, how like, have I ever been in the same room with a Dumble? Of course not. You know, so like I am so clearly
you just
not
don't
qualified.
Understand, man.
I cannot even begin to say like it does this Dumble thing super well. Like I mean, I'll read the marketing about it, right? Yeah. And I'll go off of that, I guess, best I can. But I'm not
guaranteed if you're ever trying out something that quote unquote does the Dumble thing so well, you'll be able to find some YouTube video where they've found somebody who has played a Dumble that they can at least offer some, you know, clouded opinion about. And who cares?
Who cares, guys? That's the thing. The best modelers in the world, like the best tube amps in the world, none of it really matters when you boil it down. Yeah. And that's my favorite part about all of this. Does it make you play guitar? Does it get you to play? Is it easier for you to use? Do you enjoy using it? Do you like how it sounds?
After 10 years doing this, I can honestly say none of it matters.
Honestly, though?
Yeah.
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 So anyway, we're announcing that the show's over because guitars don't matter anymore.
Guitars are dumb. We've finished guitar, everybody.
We beat that game. Replay value 0.
Oh, good. I can cancel my Patreon. God damn it. Full circle. Actually, if you want to like continue this angry rant, we can pull up the thing in the show notes.
All right. Let me put something else in
here. Hit me with a sound. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Tristan's gone again. He'll be back. This happened last time.
Well, Discord has crashed on me, and it's rebooting.
Everybody keep your tapes rolling. I should be back
up online in just a
second.
There he is. And
he's working on it.
Oh, it's just really struggling.
You hear that? There he is.
It's really struggling. Am I back? All right, I got to put the cameras back up.
Cricket says, I cancel my Patreon and his electricity gets shut off. Resubscribe right now. Turn the power on.
Now, Discord is having is on the struggle bus today. I am just not pleased. All right, and I've got to tell. Oh man, this thing's messed up too. Sorry about this. What?
That's okay.
What would it be called? What would OBS be calling that window, and why can't I find it? Discord. Oh, now it's that one. Okay, great. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Discord is absolutely pitching a fit. And I can tell by my computer's process load that it's doing it. So anyway.
You know what's been remarkable about all this, though, is I haven't lost you one time tonight. And I think it's because I got all of the internet hardware in my house replaced.
You just picked the whole thing up, threw it away, dropped a new set in.
Dropped a new one in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sidebar, we had a power failure sometime over the summer. Just thunderstorms or whatever. Nothing crazy. And it like fried our our terminal in the basement coming in off the street, the fiber hookup.
Oh, like ONT, yeah.
Yeah, which is why my smart doorbell, was disconnecting 36 times a day and sending me notifications every time. So I had the guy come out and he was like, "Oh yeah, well, let's just replace it all." I was like, I'm here for that, dude.
Yeah, do it.
Give me that new shit. So it's all good now. Yeah. Anyway, I did you get that link in the recording chat, the Patreon chat box, whatever we call it, the pedal train link?
I see something in the show notes.
Yeah, okay, pull that up. Yeah, I didn't know you had that open.
I have the show notes.
I threw this in here with the single bullet that says, because everyone has to be everywhere. And I found this because I was looking at the Pedal Train website for something else, for something that I know Pedal Train makes, like pedal boards, right? And various products and pedal board adjacent hardware.
Boom.
And I see that Pedal Train is making pedals now.
Wait, what?
And I'm very confused about why.
Train pedals?
And I saw this and I was like, this is going to set Justin off. I'm going to put it in the show notes. And I think it's going to also set him off that there's two pedals, the Daylight Overdrive and the Nightlight Distortion, that are $200 a piece. Or you can get a quote unquote first edition matched set for $600.
Oh my God.
For an additional $200, you can have a matched set. And so now is the thing. Why is the pedal board company making pedals?
So these are drives. I think I'm numb. Like,
does this not scream the problem of everyone has to be everywhere?
It is.
Does this not give you that, like,
precisely what we were talking about? Yeah.
Yes.
And now the trouble is, I find myself numb to it.
Like, you're just not surprised, and it's
and the fact that okay, hold on. So if I buy these by themselves, they're $200 each, so that's $400, which is like a lot. These better be really fucking good pedals, right?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, out of a company that's never made pedals before, and I'm supposed to just go, oh yeah, that's probably on the level of like an Earthquaker. Hook me up.
Right.
Right. And then I can buy them as a set, and they cost more than if I buy them separately. Mm-hmm. Explain that to me.
I think that's because it's the first edition. There's like a limited of 100 and they're signed or something like that, but signed by who? And what does matched set mean?
Yeah, I mean, they're two different
effects. Pedals are
it's not like they made two that sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So they're all new original circuits. So they're not copies of things, allegedly, which is cool. You can discover new sounds and textures. It's great. Both pedals are very dynamic, touch sensitive, and clean up beautifully. So the fact that all of their marketing is the same, is true for both pedals, means neither of them are unique, right? This is a thing that we did a lot at my old job. If you can put your competitor's name into your website copy and stuff like that, it means what you're saying is not something special.
What you're saying doesn't matter.
What you're saying doesn't matter because someone else does the same exact thing. So they're doing this within their own product, right?
That's exactly what it is. They're just making oh, here's our overdrive, here's our distortion. The only thing that's not the same about this as like everything else, like Orange makes pedals now, is that they didn't go distortion, reverb, delay, or whatever the triple, the triple crown of my first guitar pedals.
Oh, I can read the backstory of how they came to be. I don't know if I want to do that, but it's an 8-minute read, everybody.
That is so long. Most of the stuff we put in the show notes is like a 2-minute read.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
So
they really think people care about them as a brand, though. Because that's it, isn't it?
So I think it's really that the limited run or the first 100, that's exciting for some reason. as though the other subsequent ones are not going to be exactly the same. That feels silly.
Well, but these are first editions. They're collector's items, right?
But what if the first edition was 200 instead of 100? Uh-oh. Have I blown the lid off of this whole thing?
You think the price? So the second editions are going to come out? They're going to be the paperbacks, and they're going to cost $100.
Oh man!
Come the fuck on!
And so there's this whole. I'm not reading this thing, but it says he worked with Matt Hoops from 1981 / K, and stuff like that. Just like there's a whole story about how these were made, but I still don't understand why Pedal Train ends up being the company to put them on the market. Then like I don't think of like, oh, I'm wondering like who's got some cool overdrives I could look at. I'm in the market for an overdrive. Who should I go check out? Yeah. My pedal board manufacturer? No, I'm not. That is not even on my radar. Like I said, I was here on the website for something else, and I saw
so that's the only reason you came across
in the menu. Yeah,
you didn't even see like a press release or anything.
No, I was looking for.
Well, that's how bad their marketing is. They didn't even send a press release to the Tone Control pod. That's a podcast that's been doing it for 10 years.
For 10 years, jeez.
Pedal Train. I mean, what the fuck? Get with it.
What the? Jeez,
know your media outlets.
Here's the thing. They make all the stuff, right? They make the boards, the cases for those boards. You can buy shit tons of Velcro that's like pre-sized for their boards. You can get pedal risers, power supply mounting hardware.
Right.
I think
even they make supplies, or are they partnering with like?
I think they do, or they did at some point. But yeah, they are partnering with others. Yeah. They have all these like other like bits and pieces you can add to it. And I was looking for power supply adapters for something. Yeah. And effects pedals, like what? Okay. Anyway, that's all there is. Like I guess we don't need to go on. Can about this really anymore,
be a thing? Like this has to be like white labeled from somewhere. Right? I think white labeling in guitar pedals has to be becoming a thing. There's no way that Pedal Train is like, oh, come into my lab, I've decided to release some of my creations.
Here,
apparently it's going to take me 8 minutes to figure it out.
From thegearconfessions.com, which is...
Well, they got a press release.
It's not even a press release. It's just like an
in-house magazine.
Post.
It's actually Pedal Train's own blog.
The Gear Confessions, I don't know anything about this website or about this guy who's running it, but I do not like that name. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think it's a bad name. Anyway.
Yeah. Huh. Gear Confessions. Why am I whispering? I'm on a podcast. I'm like muttering to myself. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the fuck to do about
I don't want this to be the case. I don't want this to be how this is the thing for the next 10 years that I'm not looking forward to. I think the signal to noise ratio on stuff like this is the most exhausting part. And it's stuff like this that this is not like a dig at Pedal Train specifically in this moment, but it's the stuff that makes me lose interest the fastest.
Yeah. So what
the only way I would hate this more is if they were $250. Like if they were more expensive, I would hate it 1,000 times. Yeah. What were you going to say?
What company or what sort of company or something would it be okay with us if they were to branch out into making pedals? You know what I mean? Like I don't even
know. I mean,
because I feel like I'm basically saying nobody's allowed to do it unless you've already done it. But I'm not. Like if some new company came out, I wouldn't have any of that to say because you know what I mean? Yeah. But like at a certain point, a company's big enough, right, that it's like, well, I bet they could just fund a design lab and go to town, right? But
yeah, like for Fender, companies like right? that, I was just going to say,
yeah.
I was going to say probably amp companies feels like the right answer to me.
Yeah.
More so than like guitar companies, but then, right, but that's what I thought of. And then I thought of, well, Fender is an amp and a guitar company, and Fender pedals are like, who cares, right? So
because that's probably just like white label throwaway nonsense.
Probably. I have to guess. I guess. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like what? Now, alternatively, if a pedal company comes out with an amp, are you paying attention? Is this a problem exclusive to pedals?
It depends on the company. I think I would. Okay. Let's lay it out.
I think this problem is exclusive to the pedal industry.
Yeah.
Not the amp industry.
But I think this is a good question. Good juxtaposition here. If Earthquaker makes an amp, I will pay attention to that. I would think that that's interesting. If Boss, well, that's a stupid thing. That's
Boss does make amps.
Yeah. It's a stupid thing to say.
Well, TC Electronic.
Yeah.
If TC suddenly put out a guitar amp,
that would probably be fine. I just wouldn't care because I'm a different Justin than was there 10 years ago when we were all worked up about TC Electronic. It's not because I think they're any different. It's because I've gotten over it.
Right.
And what they would be doing was just making a modeling amp like everybody does. And I'm sure it would sound like, fine.
And I think it's got to do also with the size of the company. I'm just looking at my Copper Sound pedals over here.
If Strymon made an amp, I would pay attention.
If Copper Sound made an amp, I would sure as shit pay attention. Because I think they're a small enough, these smaller companies, I think that's way more interesting. I think like they would make a jump to that.
Yeah. But I feel like Strymon is an example of not a tiny, like, I don't know how small is, but like that's not a small company.
Sure.
But that's one where I'd be like, oh, really? At least tell me about it kind of thing,
And with Strymon, you'd have to wonder if they're just going to get into like a Kemper type space, a modeling type space.
That's exactly what I'd be thinking is like, this is going to be like a Kemper, except everything, skip the profiling and it's all just going to come straight out of Strymon's evil laboratory.
Yeah. Right. I mean, they make the Iridium. So like, put that in a full panel amp that you can plug into a 112.
The last time somebody brought an Iridium into my studio, it was like their little practice aid, like their thing that they do just so that they don't have to mess around with heavy gear sometimes. And I was like, sounds good to me. Let's record it. Nobody knows at the end of the record. You know what I mean? It sounded fine. Nobody knows. So nobody walks out of the record store humming the snare drum or humming the console.
I think
that was some famous person said that.
That's funny. I think there's too many factors to consider, like size of company, sort of legacy of company.
I hum the snare drum.
Origin of company's legacy, right? If they were an amp company and then they moved to pedals or pedals and moved to amps or guitars, like guitars feels so much more weird because it's like not electrical in that way. It's more like
that's a totally
organic materials.
Sector. Yeah.
Yeah.
Organic materials. So I said like if Earthquaker made an amp, I'd be like interested to see what was up with that. Reciprocally, if oh my God, it was in my head and then I saw the gif of Dodgeball and now I forgot everything. You destroyed my brain with your gifs. What was I about to say?
The snare drum to sound like ping.
Okay, so Earthquaker I would be okay with. What company would I?
I would pay attention if Walrus Audio made one.
So Walrus or Earthquaker, if they make one, I pay attention. If JHS was like, "Hey, we made an amp," I'd be like, "Fuck you! I'm not even looking at your press release."
I've got news for you, Justin.
Because I got a problem with JHS, and don't fucking tell me that they already made an amp 10 years ago. God damn it! Fuck you!
They make it. It's okay. Well, it's made by Milkman amps, and it's just kind of like white labeled as JHS. Like they're very clear that it's made by Milkman. It says right on the website.
Okay.
So if you pull that link up, you can check that out.
But it is fucking link up.
it's made for JHS. It's more like the JHS custom model, you could say, you know.
Oops. There we go.
Yeah. But it
So
says
they
JHS
labeled it
fucking huge
JHS.
letters
Look,
on it.
the label's very white. No, it's a milkman. That's why it's white. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is like a marketing partnership.
Kind of, yeah. He uses this amp in the demos on his YouTube channel and stuff when he's not using a Kemper and tricking everybody.
Right. This is like we can use a this guy does demos all the time, so we'll put our amp in front of all of his viewers, right? That's
right.
He didn't make this. If he turned around and made this, I would say
fuck you.
I would say model your creation into your Kemper and then I'll listen.
Which I think they did when they tricked everybody about using a Kemper that one time.
Right. Because also, who gives a shit? Because it was the same fucking tone. That's the point.
That's
Kempers
the point.
sound like the amp. Fucking A. I'm taking that thing off of the screen.
Since you dropped and rejoined Discord, you're coming in with a cool like 480i resolution here. You're looking real
really?
fuzzy and real potato vision every now and then.
And luckily, the video I'm capturing hasn't gone over the internet yet.
Cool. I'm just scrolling back through some notes and stuff. Talking about new Boss pedals, right? The RV6. Jeez. Boy, we talked about a lot of stuff, huh?
That. Yeah.
It's
We've
funny to
done a
see
lot of
things that are
things
now
over the
such
years.
standards. Things that are now
Yeah.
Gibson is reducing prices because that was fucking stupid. They just like unnecessarily raised all prices.
Young children that we were.
Yeah. Well, you want to what comes to mind as a highlight? Hit me with a sound first of all.
Okay, we're gonna highlight this highlight with a sound, and it should be not another Keeley. What is this? Oh, you know what? Classic.
Yeah, you gotta. Wicked. I think
yeah.
I threw this out in the chat just today. Wasn't really enough time to get stuff going. I asked people what their favorite moments in tone control history were, and nobody replied, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite tone control moments.
My God.
So I just think if you like just right off the top of your head, if you had to think of some like highlights of the tone control from the last 10 years, right? What are some funny or like special times, I guess?
Well, I mean, what ends up coming to mind is like whenever we did something that wasn't normal, like when we were able to have guests. We've had a lot over the years, and they've all been pretty great.
I think guests are like the easy, not the easy answer, but are like that's the big answer. I think.
And there are times when we were like together.
Of course, yeah.
Because we happened to be in the same building, and it was like, those is sort of interesting and different in different ways.
I think as far as guests go, I really enjoyed talking with Doug from Cower because he just goes and has like such a great time chatting about stuff. You can tell he's like sincerely interested in gear and just like always is thinking about it even a little bit. And of course, for episode, what was it, 100? We chatted with Joey Landreth. That was big.
Yeah, I was about to say Joey Landreth. And what's funny is I remember really enjoying that one, and I don't remember very much about what we talked about, but I do remember that he was eating Oreos the whole time.
Yeah, I do remember that too. And what's funny is like I think
or listen to it. I guess it was all audio.
It was
back then.
Yeah, it was pre everything. And I think now, like, man, we had some really great guests in this time when we were significantly less pro.
Yeah.
Right now we've got like a platform, and we've got the video. We've got this like just thing that happens when you've been doing something for 10 years. but I'll bring Cricket on. I don't give a shit. I'll be a hoot.
Yeah, I'll bring everybody on right now, dude.
That's why we're in here, you know. So, yeah, I mean,
we can pull
guests
that
have been,
ripcord anytime.
Yeah, I think Joey Landreth was a big one. I think just like figuring out that we could get guests and by way of just like messaging them and saying, hey, could you be on our show so we can talk to you about guitar gear? And people are just like, sure. So it's like considerably easy.
Right. It was like, how would we go about doing that? I don't know. And Derek's like, well, I guess I'll email him.
I just emailed him.
Oh my God, he replied.
Yeah.
What do I do now? Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed talking with Rhett as well, Rhett Shaw.
Oh yes, that was a super fun one. And that was in our video times, right? Like because we were on Discord.
I think so. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. So
we were definitely already using Discord because what?
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say we like invited him on the show. We go to, we record in Discord, come into Discord, and then like the next week, Rhett's like, I should have a Discord. Like makes a Discord server for his channel. Yeah.
So I think his Discord was always there, but like not quite active. And then very shortly after he started his podcast, I get a DM from Rhett. Hey, how did you guys set it up so people could like watch live and like record and not have audio? And I was like, we use this thing and blah, blah, blah. And I was just listening to his show Dipped in Tone today. And he's like, hey, shout out to the Discord chat, the Patreon chat, Patreon exclusive Discord chat. I'm like, yeah, Rhett stole our idea. But he can have it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's not,
I just love the idea
that idea just because it's good.
No, of course not. I'll take them, but I love the idea that he hung up that call and was like, that's a really good idea that they had.
Yeah.
And just fucking did it. So,
that was a really cool interview though, because of because it expanded. I remember like for me, it like expanded beyond, we weren't just talking about guitar stuff, but from the perspective of somebody, who does what he does, like, and had, well, I talk about people who are professional musicians. I mean, that's what he is, but he also put it together in a different way than all the other people that
the
I
YouTube
know,
stuff.
You know what I mean? Right, exactly. And sort of like but it's always, the thread remains true. It's still this like kind of piece together, let's see where it leads, and never get too comfortable. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, right. Having to really be on your toes about it. That was a great conversation too, because it was like, I think we talked a lot more about the guitar community and the culture that we're experiencing and honestly that we're routinely frustrated by. I think like that's what I was interested in.
Every fucking company making a pedal.
I really would love to know. I really would.
I'm going to write him a note.
Dear Rhett.
Dear Rhett.
And he writes.
Long time.
So
no bitch session. Anyway.
How's your Discord?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I guests are the thing that really stick out because they're kind of few and far between. But I do really like having them. I listen to some other guitar podcasts now and then that have a guest every episode. Like that's their thing. It's an interview show. Mm-hmm. They have a guest every episode. And I think that must be like
a lot of work.
Crazy to manage. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to have people that it's like it's their job to sort of wrangle and organize. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And here we are doing an episode every 2 weeks, producing half the content of most other podcasts, and we're like,
and we're struggling.
Oh, the vapors.
What else? I think a big highlight was getting
lives are busy too, like because our lives changed so dramatically over the course of these 10 years, and it's like this has been like the busiest semester. It's going to be over in another 6 or 7 weeks, and at that point, it's going to be like. But like, yeah, I mean, I end up with like one day a week where we're not sort of like rushing to get to the next scheduled thing.
Yeah. I start teaching in a few weeks, like in about a month. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So who knows what that'll be like then. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Tone Control is a passion project. gone rogue. I think, right? It's like it got way out of hand very slowly.
Very slowly. It's been creeping out of its cage slowly over the course of 10 years. It's about to get wild.
I think shout out to Pedal Genie for all of the years of support as well. Like we're not really working with them anymore, which is it just got a little funny, like with them trying to organize some stuff on their end, and things sort of just unfortunately fizzled out. I'm not just going to sugarcoat it, but yeah, which is fine. But we had a lot of great years with them, and a lot of talk about just a content factory working with somebody like that to just always be working on new pedal demos and stuff. So miss you guys. Hope you're doing well.
That is a thing that I feel. Okay, so I on the one hand, I feel like we've had this sort of space to fill, and I think we managed to do it with sort of spending more time on discussions and things, which is a good. We don't need to just keep doing the same thing all the time as the show has evolved over the years, right? So that's fine. And then on the other hand, I could make an argument that always having to do pedal demos, it was like, if I didn't have one ready, I had to have an excuse. And
I think that may be also what led to the feeling of like, oh, great, another Overdrive. Where it was the exposure to so much gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's hard to be in this topic though and not have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure that contributed heavily.
Yeah. Shit, dude. Apparently, Cricket thinks it sounds like
that was
quitting.
The only fun thing we did.
We're not quitting. Y'all are joking about hanging up the hat, but now I'm actually worried. No, I mean, we're going to stop right before episode 250. I have absolutely zero planned for a cool 250. That feels like a cool number to do something for, right?
It is, yeah.
We should have not chosen episode 249 to do our 10-year, like, hey. And whenever we hit a good chunky number like that, I do feel really like, whoa, this is the longest I've done anything feeling again.
Right.
Somebody asked me about... somebody who knew I did a podcast but didn't know about what or anything like that mentioned like, hey, how's your podcast going? And I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, what are you talking about? I appreciate you asking.
Question. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's not like we just launched or something like that. And I was like, we're getting started. I was like, well, yeah, I mean, we're celebrating our 10th year. And they were like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. So no, this is like great. Fine. Yeah. You're just doing it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's we're doing great. And then I think the other thing that I really enjoyed was all the giveaways and stuff we were able to do post Patreon launch.
Mm-hmm.
That especially this last big one, but we've done some other little odds and ends.
The big one
doing
too.
Merch was really fun.
I would like to. I guess, yeah. So if there's something I feel like I want to turn my attention slightly more toward is like, we have this merch and stuff like that. I would like to do some, I don't know. I'm thinking of like what's going to happen with, because the Patreon funds far exceed what we consider to be our expenses, which is like, well, there's a domain. It's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's. People pay that, I like to think, to support us just in like a tip jar, like you said last time.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
They do far exceed the cost of a domain, but they don't exceed, it's not excessive funds. Like, let's not confuse this.
No. I just, yeah. Well, okay. Well, you know what I mean. So I feel like, yeah, I want to get back in and kind of update the merch a little bit now. Maybe we need a 10 years anniversary
That's
design. Let's think about that. And then I also would like to, as funds allow, do some kind of just broader giveaways, like we're giving away 20 t-shirts or something like that. You know what I mean? Like because something where we can just hit a lot of people. Because the way I feel about this is like all the stuff that we felt we needed to create these Patreon perks. And I don't think anybody, I mean, once again, give us your feedback. But I don't think anybody who signed up for that cared a lick about any of those perks being exclusive. Right? It didn't seem that way. So I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do what so many other programs that I follow on various platforms do. And it's like, they have a Patreon. Sometimes there's like a perk, but a lot of times it's like, hey, look, you know what's been going on actually in podcasting, the world over, there's like a drying up of ad revenue in general. Like companies just aren't spending on it like they used to. And like all kinds of podcasts are sort of mentioning it. Like we're basically down to just a very small number of ads and mostly individual support. So you are just choosing to support it. And I think that shows sort of a maturing of that whole scene, right? Like it's just becoming like, you know, this voluntarily, I want to support that. You know what I mean? And I see that as a good thing. I see that as a maturing of the whole sector and industry and stuff like that. But
I think so.
It also means that podcasts who can't rely on ad revenue, who used to, are able to sort of lean on that. And then they say like, hey, listen, you know, if you've never been a Cricket's 10-year design.
I said, we were going to crowdsource the 10-year t-shirt, and I think we just found our winner.
Jesus.
Throw that up on screen.
Looks like he had a tablet right there next to him or something.
Yeah, I think this is just
God, this is so good. Just ask and ye shall receive.
10 years. Yeah.
He literally just has an iPad or something next to him and went, you know what? Fuck it.
I would put that on a shirt tomorrow.
I'd put that on a fucking shirt. Oh my God. You know how to get people to unsign up for the mailing list is we just tell them we're giving away 20 of these t-shirts.
Yeah. The last like, 20 on the list get it. Yeah, everybody unsubscribe. The last 20, you're getting them whether you like it or not.
Oh my God. I'm gonna cough. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay.
I love that.
I don't know what I was talking about. It's fine.
You were saying like it's a maturing of the space about like supporting to support. I think it's good too.
I'd like to just we'll be in general chat. I'd like to have just as many people as would like to be here and be able to chat with us, which is great. I think that works really well because we're kind of doing more discussion based stuff now anyway, and a bit less focused on news stuff. Not that it wouldn't work if we were having that stuff as well. And then like just kind of a when we're doing giveaways, I'd like to do some smaller ones with like larger numbers of winners and stuff.
I agree. That would be very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't always need to be a showstopper.
Obviously, they're not going to be guitars. Sorry, guys.
Whoopies. I think, let's talk about like figuring out a new channel structure. So maybe we could have like an episode chat channel or something like that. So we're not like confusing
we're not splitting it like
which
this.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit you with a TS9 giveaway. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe we could give away like some, what is it, the EQD plumes? It's a $99 tube screamer. I'd love to do something like that. Just be like, hey, here's a pedal.
Yeah.
For some reason, I won't buy one. Yeah, you can just get on that newsletter. And that's the thing. I've seen some people unsubscribing. Totally fine. Just remember that as we do giveaways in the future, the newsletter will probably play a role in just how we draw names and stuff. But we'll make announcements and stuff. So if you want to come and go from that, please do.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. It's an hour and 20 on the recording. I say that's a wrap on the Tone Control podcast. Thanks for 10 years. See you never, jerks. No, we're not quitting.
We're not quitting. It's fine.
This is a bad joke.
You're fine. No, we're not. We'll see you in 2 weeks for 250.
Yeah.
If anybody has any fun ways to celebrate 250 episodes, let's go through and reminisce about our last 250 episodes next week. And it'll be totally unrelated to the 10-year thing.
That seems fine.
I'm trying to scramble here for a thing of the week.
Oh, I'll tell you. Here's a thing of the week. Hawksbill tortoise pickup plectrums. Just kill turtles.
What?
Fuck turtles.
Are you okay?
No. That's not it. No, I made I had decided earlier today, I sort of thought about trying to find a pick of the week before we were an hour into the recording. And somebody in Discord suggested that I just do picks. I couldn't tell actually if they were telling me I should do a particular pick. But then I think it quickly turned into, it should be like a segment. It should be the pick of the week. Like,
my
all
pick.
Here's my pick
What
of
am I
the
using?
week. It's this that somebody left at my house. I don't know what this is. All of the picks that I have are stuff that somebody left. This is a 1.5 millimeter Plek Pro. Or Pro Plek. Anyway, it's a D'Addario. Can you see it? You can see it.
My pick of the week is the Howling Monkey picks. I've been using these at home a lot. They're very sharp, and I very like that.
Nice.
So I
Here's
have an
another
actual
pick of the week. Here's this. Look at this bad boy. This is like a.
Ooh.
It's. I don't know. It feels. It's thick as all hell. Somebody. Again, all picks are just left at my house. It's a thick boy.
Thick
I imagine.
right here. I call this pick Rick. Thick Rick.
Thick Rick. I think this is probably something Joe. I think this is probably a bass player's pick that Joe left at my house. Joe from Eisengeist.
Oh, from Risengeist. Nice. Eisengeist. Sorry, not
Eisengeist.
Yeah.
Who I am in process on a record with and happen to be wearing the shirt of right now. So there we go. Little shout out.
Cool.
For those guys.
My pick of the play sound.
Oh, a place. Oh, fuck. Sounds.
My pick of the week is this extremely radical and very cool reissue of As Tall as Lions self-titled LP. And it's got this very awesome jacket that is the artwork, and then the sleeve is the actual album artwork, and this is all just like holes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I love this album, and they reissued it in a short run, and I'm stoked about it. It looks friggin' rad. It's clear with red and yellow and green splatter. Hey.
You can see that depth on it too, like the splatter that ended up on the back and stuff. Yeah.
On the other side, yeah. It's very sweet. This is a fabulous record, and I am very thrilled to own it in a physical format that is vinyl.
That's a real good record.
So it's a real good one. So yeah, I'll throw a link in the chat once we wrap up here. Dude, we did it.
Indeed. Do you feel accomplished?
I do, actually. I think again, this feeling of what else have I been doing for 10 years, right? Like what is one of the long-term consistent things in my life? The Tone Control has been there for so long. It's always been a podcast, but like something about it has always been iterated on and changed and morphed, and like with the move we've made to Discord and Patreon and like the pivot in content recently, it feels like really good. I think like it's a more engaging space to be in than it was 2 years ago or something for me then. There were times when I was feeling not burned out about the show, but so burned out about Guitar and Gear. It was like,
about
well,
the content
what do
that we
do?
were sort of having to talk to do.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think it feels really good and accomplished. I'm really happy with the I don't know what you call it, like the empire that we've created.
Yeah. I the communities around it, that's always the most rewarding part of it too, is because I could never generate as much enjoyment as a community like this can generate together for itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, around this thing, sure, but like that's just the way it is. You know,
I think
people bouncing
especially with
ideas
the
and feelings
Patreon
off each other, and
with the Patreon ad some years ago, we're not super active on Patreon, the platform, but when I'm in there doing some admin stuff, I can see someone's lifetime pledges, how much they've totally spent on the tone control. And the numbers there are always mind-blowing to me. And I'm hoping I'm not giving people fuel to cancel their Patreons because they've spent too much. But, you know, I know it like $1 or $2, $3, $4, $5 at a time. It goes a super long way for us to just like do the giveaways, but also feel extremely validated. So I think, yeah.
Yes, very meaningful, and
because there's no way I would walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, you support my show. Give me $200 right now." Right? Nobody would do that. You couldn't. That would never work. And
that's the secret to
that's
why
what people
this
are after.
can work. Yeah.
So anyway, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, and I guess that's we're coming to a close. So then I'm gonna actually thank fewer than everybody. I'm gonna it's time for me to get less general about my thanks. So you know what? Newsletter links, our Discord link is in the show notes. Actually, we need to update that because Discord.io got hacked and went out of business like months ago, and I just didn't think about it until like last week that I've been using Discord.io links. So anyway, we don't have that short link anymore because it doesn't exist. But you know, patreon.com/thetone control is the good link, and there's the newsletter also doesn't have a pronounceable link really. So so anyway, those links all appear in your show notes. So they are right next to you wherever you are hearing or seeing me or both. So don't worry about it. And that's it. So thanks for 10 years and special thanks to the patrons for all their support.
I don't even think I added them to the notes this week. So sorry.
I've just scrolled
You
down.
can scroll a page.
I can.
Look at this. That's Tone Control Empire, man. I'm telling you.
There it is. All right. Thanks, everybody. And in particular, Nick Greenwood, Carson Ricketts, Matthew Fenslaw, Ryzen Wolf, Doug King, Big Daddy Doug, the Deco Man is what it was last time. What's it now, though?
That's still what it is. I forgot to change it.
It's still? Okay. The Deco Man, Brian Gower of the Tone Jerks podcast, Andrew Walsh of Andrew's Alcove, and Sean Wright of Lollygagger Effects. Thanks a lot, everybody. And
thanks a lot, everybody.
See you in a couple of weeks. 250.
Maybe.
Think of something fun. All right. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.